Favorite Filipino food?
Adobo.
Adobo, okay, gotcha.
Actually, pork adobo.
Pork adobo, okay, not chicken.
No, pork.
Interesting. Josh Kulibau, thanks so much for your time on Fox Sports Australia, mate.
Thank you for having me.
So we're here at Big Buns in Malabar. Now, once upon a time, this space was your very first MMA gym, is that right?
That is correct, yes. This burger joint was my first MMA gym. We'd have the mats down here and just be just rolling on the ground and, yeah, having my coach yell at us. So.
How did you get into MMA?
Funny enough, I was actually at a seafood restaurant not far from here, and a person heard that I wanted to do MMA, and he actually came in and handed me a flyer. My parents, my family, they love combat sports, they love martial arts, they love violence. So like I watched a lot of Bruce Lee films, you know. Yeah,
bit of Manny
boxing.
Pacquiao?
Yeah, of course. You can't go wrong with Manny Pacquiao.
What were you doing at the seafood shop?
I was working. My parents, they said, like, you know, you wanna have money, you got to earn it. I'm not just gonna give you an allowance. I gotta go make my money. My mum worked 2 jobs. You know, I hardly ever got to see my parents. You know, one was either working all day in construction, the other one was working in an office all day, and then would go and, you know, clean dishes and be a waiter at a restaurant. So they were non-stop working. I'm pretty grateful to be able to live here in Australia. You know, I have seen the lifestyle back in the Philippines. It was, you know, a real eye-opener going back there when I was a kid, to be able to see their lifestyle compared to our lifestyle. You know, you see kids roaming the street, trying to sell bottles, trying to sell this, trying to sell that, and you can see that they're really hustling from a young age, and we're over here, you know, being ungrateful for the next video game, or, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that was probably the biggest eye-opener. Yeah.
Would you say you were humbled by your Filipino upbringing? Do you feel like it had a positive impact on you growing up?
100%, because it was sort of like, you know, if my parents didn't work hard and give us the opportunity, you know, I'd be doing the exact same thing back in the Philippines. So like they worked their asses off to get me to Australia. So now I'm going to take it with both hands, the opportunity with both hands. And I feel like I have to do it not only for my parents, but for, you know, all my uncles, basically my whole bloodline. I feel like I'm doing it for them, you know, my whole Filipino heritage, my whole bloodline. I feel like I've got something to prove with this opportunity.
Was it ever tough when you wanted to get into mixed martial arts? I mean, did you get that sort of traditional Filipino pushback of like, oh no, you can't do that, be a nurse or something?
It was sort of like breaking that generational curse of like, whether I had to go to school, you know, I had to go to uni, I had to get a degree,
yeah. Or
if I wasn't doing that, I had to, you know, I had to be going to TAFE, doing a trade. Being a fighter was definitely not a you know, a thing that my parents thought I would get into, but my dad was probably the first big believer in me. You know, he's seen in me that I had a passion for this, and it was something that I enjoyed and something that I actually had a talent for, so he really did back me up.
Tell me about what sort of influence he's had on you and you as a person, you as a fighter, and your family.
Yeah, he was always a hard-working man. You know, he was a bit of a smart ass at times. You know, he loved karaoke.
As all Titos do.
Typical Filipino, loved karaoke. Yeah, he was my first real fan. So before he passed away, his biggest thing was that like he always wanted us to be proud of our last name and our heritage and where we came from, because that's who we are. You know, there's nothing we can change about that. And he just said to be proud and to, you know, try to like raise that last name, the Kulibau last name up. So that was probably one of the biggest messages he's always tried to pass on to us, is that to be proud of who we are, and, you know, not to shy away and feel intimidated, but, you know, be proud and stand there and be like, this is us. You know, I know he's looking down on me, and you know, I'm just, again, trying to do him proud and do the last name proud, and, you know, our heritage and our bloodline proud.
Training out of the Igor MMA Academy, here is Josh Kulibau.
The dream was always to be in the UFC and fight in front of thousands of people, but, you know, I never really thought that I would make it.
Really?
It was honest opinions. I didn't think I would make it. I was just a fat kid that just wanted to lose weight and just learn martial arts, and it was something that I loved and it was enjoyable.
It's when they're in the bottom.
How big were you?
Yeah, I was pushing nearly 100 kilos. I was about 90
100 kilos?
98 kilos, yeah.
So that's 230 15, 16 pounds?
Yeah, in pounds, yeah. I was big, man. And this is me when I was probably like 15, 16.
Yeah, right. And people talk about Volk being that heavy. You were
Yeah, I was bigger.
even bigger than him.
I was bigger. Yeah.
And you're both featherweights. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Did you play footy?
I did play footy.
Yeah, right. What position?
At that age, I was playing the front row. So
Yeah, oh my
I was
God.
one of the big boys.
Were you good?
I was on the verge of getting selected to the junior bunnies.
Were you?
But,
Wow.
Yeah, just like took too much time away from training here, and I just thought like this was more fun to me.
Fighting out of Sydney, Australia, Josh Kulabau.
Massive return for the UFC to Australia. How excited are you to be representing yourself, your family, in front of your home fans?
Yeah, it's massive. I haven't fought in front of my friends and family for so long, obviously due to COVID and that, but yeah, it's one of those things to tick off the bucket list, to be able to fight not only for the UFC, but to be able to fight for the UFC in front of my friends and family on home soil. And a double champ is about to be crowned as well. So yeah, it's pretty a special occasion.
That's it. That'll do it. And still the best featherweight in the world. I don't care who you put in there with him right now. There's a lot of people who have to do a lot of impressing to be able to beat that man.
I mean, he's better than he's ever been, and he was already the best.
Alexander Volkanovski,
Yeah.
a man under whom you have trained. Tell me about your relationship with him and what you've learned from the great man.
He is your most nicest, typical Aussiest bloke you can meet. I can't say enough good things about him. He's a champion again inside the cage, and he's a champion outside the cage. He's someone that I do inspire to be like, somebody that doesn't change just because of a little bit of fame, some money, you know, being a champ, crowned the champ, you know, and being pound for pound #1. That hasn't changed who he is. He's still the same person. He's just a hard worker. So that's something I do aspire to be.
You're really close with young Jamie Malarkey,
Yep.
who you came up with. I remember there was that fight between them, and you actually didn't know Alex at the time.
No, I didn't know Alex at the time. Yeah, so Jamie did fight Volkanovski back on the local scene, and Volkanovski ended up winning. And I remember, you know, pretty clearly that when Jamie lost that fight, I was saying to myself that I am gonna avenge that loss for Jamie, and I didn't know this was Volkanovski.
That's crazy.
Would turn into this Volkanovski. So
right.
yeah.
How do you think Volk's going to go against Islam Makhachev? I mean, that.
I think everyone's doubting him, which is, you know, I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of people are doubting him. I think this is going to be Islam's hardest fight, and I think Islam is going to be surprised how hard it is to actually hold down Volkanovski. So I think Volk takes it, whether it's a late finish or he wins on points. But I just don't see Islam being able to keep the same pace all the way through what the pace that Volkanovski can fight at. So I think Volk takes it.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Let's hope he can become the 5th simultaneous double champ in UFC history. What about your own fight? Nolsik Bagdasarian, of course, from Armenia.
Yep.
Champion back in China as well. He's got great power, great speed. What do you make of him from what you've seen of him?
Man, he's a great fighter. He's dangerous on the feet. Yeah, he's good all round. I'm very excited for this fight. I feel like he's the type of guy that's going to push me to that next level, really force me to level up. And I think me and him are going to be fireworks. Definitely, you know, in the realm of fight of the night, but I kind of want the performance of the night.
Okay, gotcha. And what will that performance be then?
I'd say a knockout. I think we get a knockout. But that's just me saying it. But I think me and him are going to be fireworks from start to finish, regardless.
Thank you very much. I'll have a burger, mate. You've got a fight, so no burgers for you.
No burgers.
You enjoy your meal. Coach will be angry with you having any of this. I really wish I could, mate. But
it's fine.
yeah, hope you do well in Perth, mate. And that's your fuel.
Cheers. Thank you.